Hi guys, Andy here. So, about 20 minutes ago, I finished watching the Google announcement, and I thought I'd try and do a very quick summary for those of you that can't be bothered to watch the whole 2 hours. I'll just run through some of the bits that I thought were interesting. It took kind of 20 minutes to get going, 20 minutes before we got to any hardware. They talked a lot about AI advances, much that I think they did last year as well. Auto ML, all these things that they say we're going to make their phones and their devices and Google Assistant and everything so much better just by machine learning, which I think is great. You know, I think that's one of the advantages Google has is that machine learning and that AI and the advances that they have in that area. It was quite annoying. I think the sound was out of sync on the YouTube stream. Strangely, was fine when I switched it over to my Chromecast, so I watched it on the Chromecast in the room with my laptop, tapping away, making some notes as I went. So 20 minutes in, we got to Google Home. They talked about voice match, nothing all that interesting. Voice calling is coming to the UK later this year. You will be able to add your own personal number. So I guess literally I would say, okay, G, call mum. It would call my mum from my Google Home, showing up as my number to her, so she knows to answer. It's fine, and then I can just sit here chatting away. That'll be quite good actually. I can lie in bed and chat away. I'm quite looking forward to that. That'll be good. Then that's the Home Mini, which I think we generally knew was coming. £50 to us, which again I think we kind of were expecting that sort of price. I have to say a lot of stuff that was announced we kind of knew was coming because of the leaks. In some ways I wish they didn't have the leaks and we could all be wowed at the actual announcement. Interesting, they said they made the material on the Home Mini from scratch themselves, sort of their own fabric, and it does have, you can control it by touching the fabric. Oh, that's quite clever. There's new games and learning, so your kids can say things like, okay, gee, let's learn, and then they can do all play different games. They're partnered with Disney, I thought was interesting, and I think others as well. I don't think we were expecting the Google Home Max though, which is basically an actual speaker. It's got like 2 decent subwoofers and some tweeters. One of the comments they made was they were obsessed over the bass, which kind of sounds promising. I like a decent bit of bass from my speakers. They said 20 times more powerful than the Google Home. I don't know what that 20 times more powerful, how that's measured. Is that decibels? Because when you go up 10 decibels, that's whatever, I don't know. So 20 times more powerful. They showed a clip, they gave it to someone obsessed with sound and speakers and like a music producer, and he was a little advert really, I suppose, saying how amazing it sounded. You can plug it into your stereos, you can have 2 of them. I quite liked it. Talked about smart sound, so wherever you place it, very quickly it can detect where walls are and where objects are and it adjusts the sound to make it sound better for you. It's a little bit quieter in the mornings, it's a little bit louder when there's other things going on. They claim that even when the speaker's volume is up, it can pick out your voice and you can still give instruction, which I'm not sure happens all that well with my Google Home at the minute. So that'll be interesting to see how it does it. We've not seen a UK price. They said it starts in the US in December from $399. So you've got to imagine the other things seem to match up dollars to pounds in many cases. So it's going to be £399 when and if. I think they said it was coming to the UK. Then they moved on to the Google Pixel Book. This did look very nice. Interesting design on the black with the kind of the shiny top corner. Well, they called it signature glass inlay, is what that kind of, well, mine's not glass because I put a D-brand skin over it. But you know, you could tell it was a Pixel device, which I thought was, I quite like that. That's that kind of their brand, I suppose, their branding. 10mm thick, 1 kilogram. You could kind of rotate it through keyboard to sort of a stand screen, to a tablet where it's back to back, or you could kind of, what do they call it, tent something or other. Looked interesting. 12.3 inch screen, 235 pixels per inch, backlit keyboard, i5 or i7 processor, 16 gig of RAM, 10 hours of use. Instant tethering with your Pixel, that's added interest. So literally, if it doesn't detect any Wi-Fi networks, but it detects your phone, it just automatically tethers through your phone. I thought that sounds quite clever, sounds quite good. Quite sort of, you know, you have these Apple fanboys, quite honestly, going on about things just work together. And I guess that's what Google are trying to do there. There's, you know, you just literally connects to your Pixel and you don't even have to press anything. It just tethers for you. They showed the Pixel Book Pen. Google Assistant is built into the Pixel, kind of obviously, but you can sort of circle things with a pen and it would then give you the information on those people. You can circle words or artists of music tracks. And I'm thinking to myself, well, couldn't I just do that with my mouse? I kind of, the pen was like $99, I guess £99. It does fully support Google Play, so you can install your regular Android apps on the Pixelbook. I thought that's quite good, interesting. But it starts at £999 for us pounds, which is quite a lot for essentially like a high-powered Chromebook. I don't know, maybe it might suit some people. Then finally, we're about an hour in at this point. Finally got to the Pixel 2. And as I say, I think it's mainly what we already knew, but if you didn't, there's a 5-inch version, just the Pixel 2, and there's a 6-inch Pixel 2 XL. The 5-inch version does still have quite big bezels, kind of like my Pixel, this one being the XL, has here. The Pixel 2 XL, though, I think looks really nice screen-wise. I don't like tiny thin bezels, and they're not tiny thin, but they're quite small, and it's quite a large amount of screen real estate. The Pixel 2 XL, I don't think the body-wise didn't, to me, look that much bigger than the smaller Pixel, but 5-inch to 6-inch, screen-wise, quite a big difference. Aluminium body, blah, blah, blah. No headphone jack. To me, doesn't really bother me. I've not plugged headphones in. Well, maybe in the last 2 years I've plugged headphones in twice, perhaps when I've kind of left my Bluetooth headphones at home and I've gone to the gym and I have an emergency backup pair of plug-in ones. But to be honest, you can get Bluetooth headphones for like 20 quid. I'll just get emergency backup Bluetooth headphones instead. Front-facing stereo speakers. A lot of people really like that. Not so bothered as long as it's good speakers, loud enough, because I do like using hands-free or listening to podcasts. The fingerprint sensor, they said faster than any other smartphone. Now, if you saw my Honor 9 review, that fingerprint sensor is ridiculous. I mean, you just tap on it, literally. Watch the video if you don't believe me. I've watched my video. I'm just tapping like that and it unlocks the phone. And it's working. You do different fingers, wrong fingers, it didn't work. So it did make me realise, coming back to my Pixel XL, actually, it's quite slow, the fingerprint sensor on my Pixel. So they're saying fastest of any smartphone, so I mean that's going to be blazing fast if that's true. I'll be interested. I've still got the Honor 9, so when I get my Pixel 2 XL, I will match them up head to head and we'll see. Blah, blah, blah. Bluetooth 5.0 support. Pixel 2 comes in 3 different colours, kind of blue, just black, clearly white. That got a laugh, I'm not sure what that was about. P-OLED technology for the screen they mentioned. I think this was when they were talking about the Pixel 2 XL. I'm not actually sure what P-OLED technology is, but sounds interesting. Screen ratio 18:9, again, I think we knew that. 538 pixels per inch, craziness. IP67 certified, so dustproof, water resistant, I think that one was. They were making jokes about both devices having the same features. We don't just save our good features for the top device, something like that. Damn a little dig at Apple now then, in a kind of comical way. Active Edge, squeeze the phone for Google Assistant. They say they've kind of used, again, I can't remember if they use machine learning as the comment, but they're sort of using AI to know when it's a squeeze to launch Assistant, when you're just grabbing your phone. I guess, I mean, they showed an example. She kind of squeezed it, take a selfie. And then like the camera loaded up and a countdown started and she took a selfie. Yeah, it's quite good, I think. Might use it. They talked about kind of routines. So I think she said, okay, G, let's go home or something like that. And it said, no problem, the traffic on your commute home is blah, blah, blah. It sent a text message to her husband to say, I'm on my way. It started up a podcast from where she'd left off. It's kind of like macros. If you've ever done, I don't know, like some MMO gaming on your PC, you set up macros, so you press one key and it does a series of commands. I would have thought there's probably apps there already that do that kind of thing, but, it's quite nice to have it baked into the OS. And Google Assistant. Then they moved on to the kind of phones aside. They moved into Google Lens, which will be a preview to Pixel users. I think they said coming soon, which I thought was interesting. They kept saying it was a preview. So I guess we're still a long way off the actual released version of Google Lens. And again, did we see Google Lens? No, it must have been the Oreo announcement. We've seen, Lens isn't anything particularly new to us. I don't think they've spent a huge amount of time on it. AR stickers was interesting. So they showed some footage. Well, someone came out with a camera, the lady was presenting, and they used Stranger Things stickers, but basically they look kind of cartoon characters from Stranger Things, and you could just kind of drop them in next to you on the stage, or they did. And then they dropped what's her name, 11, the girl, and then these two things started interacting, and all the while the woman stood there kind of going, oh my goodness. Little bits of fun, yeah, why not? onto the camera. Now, you might remember from last year's, they were very proud that they had the top rated XDO score ever of a mobile smartphone with 89. I looked up the kind of DxOMark scores. So the Pixel is actually down as 90. I'm sure it's 89 last year. It's 90 on their listing now, level with the HTC U11. The iPhone 8 has a 92 score. The iPhone 8 Plus has a 94. Samsung Galaxy Note 8 just came in literally, I think, a couple of days ago with a 94. And then the Pixel 2 has come in with a 98. 98. I mean, I don't know, relatively, I don't think it's out of 100. I think it's just a score. And I've already read comments on the internet, people saying, it doesn't mean anything. Well, it does. It means a bleeding good camera. It's very unlikely. Let's scroll down. The Nokia 808 PureView scored 61. It's unlikely that Nokia is going to have a better camera than the Pixel 2. The ratings don't mean nothing. They're not necessarily, you're not guaranteed an amazing picture no matter where you point at and press the thing. And there's even going to be situations where one of the low ones will do better than one of the high ones. But generally, that's going to be, they're not just making scores up, looking at people, that's pretty good, let's give it a 98. They're doing various different tests. I'm sure if I could be bothered, I could look through and see. I think I did look through last year, and they explained how I think it's reasonably scientifically done. It's a little bit like a benchmark. They're not the be-all and end-all, and sometimes, Samsung is said to cheat by just cranking the power right up. But to me, I don't really care. That's what happens when I'm playing a game. They should crank the power right up, and I want to know what that power gives. So, I think that's... so they talked about, I think it's in my notes here. Okay, so let's keep going though. So portrait mode with just one lens. They're kind of saying, part of their advert, I think that's going to come on the TV soon, was so I guess you've got two lenses then. We don't need two lenses. And they talked about each pixel had kind of a left and a right or something like that, and it used them to be able to figure what was near ground or foreground. It sounded all very clear. Again, I think they used machine learning. It works on the front-facing camera too. That sounds quite good. Now, this is a bit like kind of, so they've got both optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization. And they call it fuse video stabilization. And they showed a video of, I guess they must have two phones side by side, and they're on like a moped on a bumpy ground. They were showing the one was like jumping on, this one was just rock steady all the time. A little bit like they did last year, to be fair. They showed someone coming down the street, and it was really impressive. And again, the fuse video stabilization looked really impressive. To blend both OIS and EIS into one is going to give you some. I mean, their EIS last year, I still say is flaming amazing. I've walked down steps myself, and when you play it back, you would not know. It's just like you're panning down. So if they've improved on that by fusing them both in together, that's going to be some good video stabilization. I kind of lost a little bit of interest after the phones, but I did keep watching and taking some notes. They talked about the new Daydream headset, wider field of view, etc., etc. $99. I wasn't massively excited. I've got mine down here. I can't think the last time I used it. It's a bit of fun. You show people, they go, oh, look at this, amazing. I was interested by the Google Pixel, but again, we've heard rumours about some earphones that have Google Assistant built in. They looked quite nice. I think they're £169 though. I've lost them. Here we go. £159. It's all operated by touch on the side for volume up and track skip and all that kind of thing. They look quite nice. It's just a little bit of, it almost looks like, why would you need, there's a little bit of cord that connects them, and it does just look like cord. There's not, batteries aren't in that. They get 5 hours battery life from use, but they go into the little carry case, and that recharges them, and you can get up to 24 hours use when you keep putting it into the carry case, which I thought was quite good. I am thinking about getting some new earphones. I'm quite tempted. They're not released just yet. I think you can join a waiting list, basically. And I'm quite tempted. The real-time translation looked pretty amazing. So they brought out some Swedish woman from earlier in the presentation and the other guy, and he spoke to her in English, and it translated to her into Swedish. She then replied in Swedish, and I think the Google Home spoke out the English translation, kind of all in real time. It wasn't literally at the same time, but she would speak, and then it came straight back out. It did look impressive, and it did make me think, actually, if I was going to a country that I didn't speak the language, which is most countries, it would be really useful, really useful. Then the thing was, the last thing was the Google Clip, which is a little kind of square camera. I think the general idea was you would clip it onto you or your kid or your dog or the wall. And again, it used machine learning and artificial intelligence to know when to take pictures or little bits of video. And you could then review them on your phone and keep them, save them, whatever. I think that was $200 something. Again, I lost a little bit of interest. $249, $299, $249. I think I would say. It's not on the website, so I can't check. It looked interesting. Probably for new parents, I can see there might be some use for that. I'm going to have to jump back because I didn't talk about the pricing on the phones. That's kind of all it wrapped up. And then if we come to the pricing on the phones, the Pixel 2, regular Pixel 2, was $629 for 64 gig. The Pixel 2 XL, you put £170 onto that to get to $799 for the 64 gig. In both cases, if you want the 128 gig, you put another £100 on, which again, I think was kind of where I was expecting the pricing to be. I didn't expect the 2 and the 2 XL to be so far apart. £170, that's a lot more than they did last year. Possibly it's down to the thinner bezels and the big screen, and it's just more tech difference between the regular and the XL. So I've jumped in for the black and white at $799 for 64 gig. It really annoyed me last year when it was only 32 gig and 128 gig options, because 128 for me is more than I need, but 32, you could be pushing it. They are continuing the unlimited backup storage of photos, videos, and live photos. That's kind of a live photos type thing like we've seen from Apple and iOS. Free backup of that for Pixel users still. So 32, I mean, maybe I'd have got away with 30. I know right now I'm way over it, but you obviously just back things up and wipe them off, or I do, back it to the cloud and wipe it off, and maybe I'd have coped with 32, but it was just too tight for my liking. 64 gig, I'm fairly confident I'll be happy. Yeah, I'll be fine with that. So I've ordered that for $799. As I've sort of said, the large version $899. That's unfortunately that's the way phones are going. I was thinking even if they went up to $850, I'd probably be buying the XL. So $799. I mean, obviously I'd have loved $750. I was hoping for $750. $799. I'm not going to argue. Orders placed. Phones come in November 15th to 17th, I think. Obviously, you're going to hear about it as soon as it comes. So if you haven't already, subscribe. And oh my God, 17 minutes. Sorry about that. I thought I was going to be blasting through really quick. Maybe I waffled too much. There was quite a lot going on. There was a lot of hardware. They showed at the very end, kind of, this is our new family of devices, whatever. And there's a lot of stuff there. So there you go. Well, I've been shorter than the 2 hours if you watched the whole thing, and hopefully I've got most of the important stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do check out my website, androidandy.uk, as it says, sort of, no, that way, that corner. Mind you, that's in the that's me learning HTML and PHP and all that. It's there. Have a look. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. For now, my name's Andy. Catch you all again soon.